Well, welcome back to Game on Hay, where tonight we seem to be rather enjoying India's troubles in this World T20. We shouldn't be, obviously we shouldn't be, but we are, I think, aren't we? I mean, there's a certain festive spirit about this rather poor performance. Anyway, let's have a look through the Indian innings. Let's have a look at the Indian card, just to show you where their problems seem to lie, because their problems lie a little bit, or a lot, to do with the batting, because they can't get runs on the board, and they don't seem to have much penetration from the bowling either. But just looking at that card, trouble at the top again, with Rahul out for 18. Kishan coming in for the first game of the tournament, his first game of the tournament, for just 4. Rohit, 14. Kohli, even Kohli today couldn't manage to get them out of any sort of trouble. Pant is down at 12. Pandya today just got them at least above the 100 mark, but 110 for 7, to say the least, is never or very, very seldom going to be enough.
Yes, and it's of course not very good when at the start of the tournament, only in the second game, you have to change your openers. I mean, as a team where your batting is your strength, everyone is talking about this is the best, one of the best batting sides in the tournament. And after 2 years of preparation, in the very second match, you have to change that particular pair. And I think that shows how unsettled they were because of the first loss. And then in the middle, they couldn't manage at all.
What was the verdict? Because I got the impression there was a problem with Yadav. And yet I think some of the guys seem to think no problem, it was just a tactical switch.
No, I think that even if there was a problem with Yadav, what they were saying that Rohit could have still opened the innings and Ishan could have come down or KL Rahul. I mean, that could have been another way of doing it. But I'm not sure whether, of course, Surya Kumar Yadav, there was a bit of form issue with Kish because Ishan Kishan was in great form in the IPL.
Sure.
So,
but as a neutral, I mean, from my experience of watching Rohit Sharma, as a neutral, in the Test series in England this last summer, he played beautifully. He has a reputation, okay, I know IPL is not international cricket, but he has a reputation, very strong reputation in IPL, and he likes opening innings. So I can't see why he would opt.
Left arm seam.
No, I don't think so.
That's a thing.
Yeah, so because he's a wonderful player, no question about that. But लेकिन जो असल जो मसला था कि उनकी टीम का कम्बिनेशन और वो जो बात की है कि डरे हुए थे कि क्या करें, और ईशान किशन का वो था कि उन्होंने लेफ्ट और राइट हैंड का कम्बिनेशन बना के वो चाह रहे थे कि हम इसको आगे लेके जाएं, क्योंकि विराट कोहली अगर नीचे आएगा तो फिर उसके लिए जो है ना इनिंग्स को बिल्ड करना बड़ा मसला है। वो उसी वक्त होता है 3 नंबर पे वो ज़्यादा अच्छा खेलता है। और जब भी अगर आप देखें इंडिया में विराट कोहली ने ज़्यादा परफॉर्मेंस उस वक्त की है जब वो चेस कर रहा होता है, उसको पता होता है कि उसने अपनी इनिंग्स को कैसे खेलना है, किस रन रेट के साथ उसने खेलना है। तो आई थिंक कि ये वजह थी आज। और अभी अगर आप देखें दिस इज़ द सेकंड टाइम, अगर 2016 में भी अगर आप देखें इन लोगों ने 7 से 15 ओवर न्यूजीलैंड के अगेंस्ट ही इन्होंने कोई बाउंड्री भी नहीं लगाई हुई थी। 2016 के वर्ल्ड कप की भी बात करें आप तो ये कुछ है, आई थिंक कि कोई मेंटली ब्लॉक है इसमें। और अगर आप देखें उनकी बॉलिंग की बात करें जहाँ पे न्यूजीलैंड की, तो उसमें अनफॉर्चुनेटली आज इनका ऐसा था कि जो भी उन्होंने हिट मारी है वो फील्डर के हाथ में गई है, कि लक भी उनका साथ नहीं देती। जब आप डरे हुए होते हैं, अगर ब्रेव नहीं होते तो फिर आपकी लक भी साथ नहीं देती।
भाई लक में तो साथ दिया, पहले बॉल पे रोहित शर्मा का इतना आसान कैच ड्रॉप हुआ।
देखिए कैच ड्रॉप हुआ, उसमें रोहित शर्मा ने जो उसको शॉट खेले हैं उस ओवर में, एक उसने 2 शॉट जो कट पे उसने मारे हैं, एक केएल राहुल ने मारा, एक इसने मारा, उसके बाद छक्का जो मारा है, तो ऐसा लग रहा था कि वो लेके जाएंगे, लेकिन सडनली जो है ना टिम साउदी ने उसको बॉल किया तो वो सीधा उसके हाथ में चला गया। बॉल में पेस नहीं थी, इस वजह से वो हाथ में चला गया। और अगर आप कोहली का भी देखें यही हुआ, अगेंस्ट स्पिन उन्होंने खेला तो फील्डर के हाथ में चला। ऑन योर डे अगर थोड़ी सी आपकी लक हो तो कहीं बीच में गिर जाता है बॉल या फील्डर से थोड़ा सा दूर हो जाता है, तो जब आपकी लक ना हो तो फिर आपके साथ ऐसे।
रोहित नंबर 3 पे आए और ये टोटली अनफिट हुए हैं अभी पूरे 1 महीने से। अगर देखा जाए ये फिट नहीं थे, जिसकी वजह से ज़्यादा प्रैक्टिस भी नहीं और ज़्यादा ट्रेनिंग भी नहीं। जब आपके हैमस्ट्रिंग या ग्रोइन में प्रॉब्लम होती है तो आपके फुटवर्क इतना अच्छा नहीं होता, तो ये एक रीज़न है। कोहली का आपको सबको हमें पता है कि नंबर 4 पे इफेक्टिव नहीं है जब 2 विकेट गिर जाएं, इसीलिए बेंगलोर ने लास्ट सीज़न में ओपन करवाया इनसे, या खुद किया ओपन। और जिन प्लेयर के बीच में ये खेले, मैक्सवेल होते थे या स्टोइनिस या एबी डिविलियर्स होते थे, तो इनको आदत है उनके साथ खेलने की। अगर यहाँ पे देखेंगे इंडियन पिचेस भी नहीं है, ये डिफरेंट पिचेस हैं, मोस्टली हिटर्स हैं, यहाँ पे हिट इतने आराम से लग नहीं रही। ऑस्ट्रेलियन प्लेयर हो, ऑलराउंडर हो या इंडियन हो, दोनों को इश्यूज आ गए। यहाँ पे जो ग्राफ सिर्फ हमने देखा है 2 प्लेयर्स को मारते हुए, वो आसिफ अली को देखा है शारजा में, या मिलर को आखिर में जिन्होंने हिटिंग की है वो सक्सेसफुल हुए हैं। अदरवाइज फर्स्ट इनिंग में थोड़ा सा मुश्किलात तो लग रही हैं। हम आगे देख रहे हैं, टॉस लग रहा है कि टॉस के ऊपर मैचेस डिसाइड हो रहे हैं।
That's why
अफगानिस्तान के वो डिसाइड करके आए हैं।
they scored 147 against Pakistan, and today they scored 160. And they are the only team. They won the toss and they wanted to bat. Positivity here, and there's nothing wrong with these players, isn't it? Rohit Sharma, Rahul, Kohli, but they're scared. Even when they were hitting, there was doubt, hate or don't. There is no power in it.
Well, okay, fair point. Now, if you look at the figures for these Indian batsmen against spin today, between Santner and Sodhi, 8 overs, 32 runs conceded. That's also 4 and over basically between them, and a couple of wickets for Sodhi. And normally speaking, traditionally, you'd assume that Indian batsmen are capable of hitting spin. They have a lot of practice in IPL. They've had practice for decades, 100 years, for forever. Indian batsmen, well, they're certainly used to play spin well. Again, is this intent? Is it fear? Is it what's missing? What do they need to do?
One of the explanation given today by on commentary by one of the Indian commentators was the fact moving Rohit Sharma in the middle because of his skill of playing spin. That was explained. He also mentioned that apparently it takes him a little while in order for him to get going, so he can be very effective at what he's doing in terms of taking control of the spin attack. We saw either of that today. And here's an individual that over the years he would have made his money at the top of the order in terms of setting the so-called pattern.
Yeah.
And I just felt that I must agree with Javed at this point where you said that they're playing scared. There's a lot of talk about the bowlers that they were about to face. And to me, they were thinking a little bit ahead of time. And all what you needed was the fact that let the guy stay where he is, where he would have done his best work. Yeah. And all these little shuffles and changes sometimes can cause confusion in any batting lineup.
Sure, but it's not about just the one man. And for instance, when you've got a left-arm spinner, orthodox left-arm spinner, albeit a good one, and a wrist spinner, and you've got someone like, say, Rishabh Pant, left-hander, where that match-up should suit him. And yet, no boundaries. That statistic that came from the other side of the room, 70-odd balls without a boundary. Why?
And that happened also, Azhar was telling us that in 2016 World Cup, from 7 to 15 overs against New Zealand, India, it was the same stat.
I mean, look.
Is it contractual? What is it?
Mindset.
Not allowed. Not allowed to hit a boundary.
I mean, the reason is it's too much social media.
Well, they're on their phones during the innings going, where do
I
I go?
I mean, look.
Especially in the 7 to 15.
No, after losing to Pakistan,
Yeah.
what happened back home with the families, friends, it's not easy. And when you at the ground, the fear of losing, fear of getting out, that I can assume, I can see that.
But that is the game. I mean, that is what international cricket is about. Whether you're playing tests, 50 overs, 20 overs, it is the pressure of being on the stage, the expectation that you're good enough to deal with that, the sort of puff out your chest and right, we will take this on. And if you're going to be India and you're worried about trying to hit a boundary and failing.
Look, as a team, what you do, you talk about, okay, this pitch, it's not happening 178. Let's play a proper cricket. Don't go for big shots, just take singles, hit fours. There's nothing happening.
If you see Pant was playing against Saudi, he was bowling down the leg side. Normally you see him, putting his leg down and hitting sweep shot. And we saw the other day against fast bowler, one-handed 6. But today, we didn't see anything like that, intent wasn't there, he was getting scared of
When you
fear
lose
of failure.
It's interesting.
when
I
you
mean,
lose
yeah.
wickets at a rapid rate like that, I think it just adds fear to the other individuals coming in. Folks coming in didn't want to commit the same sort of suicide as the earlier batsmen. So apparently, guys were just trying to get themselves, I believe, to a safe enough total that they believe they could have defended. It wasn't so.
And this time, because of Hardik Pandya's injury, they were not very confident about him, and they did not have an MS Dhoni at the low order who would generally finish the games for them.
And-
Well,
they
just think about that, yeah.
psychologically,
They should play him rather than
having a
Let him
mentor.
having in the dugouts.
No, the thing is, like if you see the mindset of Indian players, like when they're facing, like 135 or 130, they say, okay, Pandya will come and hit few shots, like there's a sheer pace of Milne and Bolt, like they're bowling 145 plus, and it's not easy. And the ball he got from, Pant got from Milne, you can see it. It was too quick for him, so he missed that
And
ball.
to be fair, that New Zealand attack is a serious attack. And to be fair, you can't just come and hit these guys around as you like. They planned that today. That is why you had India in the position that they were.
Okay, let's have a look at the spin bowling because, as I said just now, the figures of the spinners today, very economical for both New Zealand's main spinners there. If we look at Mitchell Santner first, I mean, this is what, 4 overs, no maidens, none for 15 runs.
उमर आप कुछ बताना चाहेंगे इनकी बॉलिंग के बारे में दोनों स्पिनर्स पे बहुत ही जबरदस्त सिर्फ 32 रन आए इनकी बॉलिंग पे
नहीं बड़ा ज़बरदस्त बॉलिंग किया सैडनर ने जिस तरह उसको लाइक जो बिल्कुल रूम नहीं दिया बैट्समैनों को और विकेट टू विकेट और मेनली उसने जो बॉलिंग की है आम बॉलिंग पे ज़्यादा रिलाई की है तो आई थिंक यही उसकी सक्सेस थी. आप देखें बैट्समैन भी ज़्यादा कॉन्फिडेंस नजर नहीं आ रहे थे उस पर तो गुड लाइक अच्छी बॉलिंग उसने की है.
ये जो सॉरी
लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर को मोस्टली देखिए फ्रंट पे खेल रहे हैं, यहाँ पे खेल रहे हैं. हमेशा आप स्वीप पे जाएंगे या कट पे जाएंगे रन बनाने के लिए. यहाँ पे आप ब्लॉक हो जाएंगे क्योंकि फील्डर इधर भी होगा, लॉन्ग ऑफ लॉन्ग ऑन पे भी होगा और डीप मिड विकेट पे भी होगा. आपको स्क्वायर ऑफ द विकेट ऐसी पिचेस पे जाना पड़ेगा. फास्ट बॉलर हो या स्पिनर, जैसे कल देखा था स्मिथ आउट हुए, स्क्वायर कट मारने थे लेकिन वो चले गए मिड ऑन पे मारने के चले गए. तो शॉट सिलेक्शन मेरे ख्याल से इतनी परफेक्ट नज़र नहीं आ रही है अभी प्लेयर की. और हालांकि आईपीएल खेले में स्पिनर्स को अगर खेलना है तो आपको स्वीप मारनी पड़ेगी या कट मारनी पड़ेगी. ये शायद शॉट सिलेक्शन
कुछ डिस्टर्ब नहीं कर सके स्पिनर्स.
अभी आप देखो कि that's the indication. If you're not scared, and if the ball and pitch is difficult, you try something, you do something, reverse sweep or something out of it. You just can't wait for the ball, a bowler to bat a bad ball and you hit.
Not at this level of the game. I mean, there was a stat that showed that there was a little bit more grip in the pitch tonight than there had been yesterday. But for Santner, he doesn't turn it. He's he's clever with his lines and his lengths and his paces. There's no turn. I mean,
No turn,
Sodhi got a little bit of turn, a little bit of grip, yeah.
But yes,
as
because his
Sir
action
mentioned, like Rohit Sharma, because it's a great captaincy from Williamson as well, because he
center.
that guy, that guy.
Center.
So he bowled the 4th over, and on that over, you see everything was coming to Rohit Sharma. No room.
Yeah.
Didn't try to spin the ball, and after that, if you see the 7th over, and he was giving air to the ball, and then he used variation and pitch.
And the way he adjusted the length, I think he was very, very clever.
He's very clever. And he's very. I mean, he's done it for years, and he's very good at it. Even so, there was no real attempt, as the guys are saying, to get after him. And then Sodhi, as the other spinner, who at least picked up wickets as well. But again, very economical, keeping control. I mean, and of course, if the attempted shots either don't reach the boundary, or in the end you'll see a couple ending up in the hand, then you've still got problems. The sweep shot. I mean, it just seems India were very good at finding the fielders. There you go.
No power in the shots.
Well, no.
One's got to remember and give credit to Kane Williamson in terms of the field placing, and the bowlers defended that and basically supported him as best as they could. That is why we had India in that position.
ये देखें कि ये उसको इफेक्टिव क्या क्लोज ऑफ द स्टंप से ये मोस्टली बॉलर वाइड ऑफ द स्टंप करते हैं लेग स्पिनर. ये बहुत ही क्लोज है। रोहित का आउट किया ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर फेंकी,
बिल्कुल
लेकिन
अंपायर
बॉल
के सामने से ही तकरीबन।
ट्रेवल करती हुई गई ऑफ स्टंप के बाहर, जो एक्स्ट्रा कवर भी वो खेल सकते थे, लेकिन फिर उनको फ्लॉप स्वीप करनी पड़ी।
बहुत ज़बरदस्त इन्होंने क्रीज का इस्तेमाल भी किया है, जिस तरह आप कह रहे हैं, करीब से भी आए और लेंथ बड़ी ज़बरदस्त, इवन यॉर्कर्स भी बीच में कर
बॉल की रिलीज है ना एम्पायर के हेड के पास से भी और बाहर से भी है, दो जगह से इनका बॉलिंग का।
लेकिन अभी उसने फुल टॉस भी कराई, उसे मुंह में भी फेंकी है। The batsman is all over the place.
मतलब ये है कि ना उसने हमारा शो देखा याला ना बॉलिंग का।
It started bowling that.
Oh man, when you see that, you're in trouble.
And the fielding. I mean, always good to point out New Zealand's fielding.
Well,
that effort
though
by
they
Neesham on the boundary
dropped two
too.
catches, and first
Yeah.
one was
Yeah, well, they
very,
dropped those,
very
but-
crucial.
And Saudi,
Yeah.
Saudi. But that
Things-
didn't,
things like Neesham
they
on the
didn't hurt
boundary
them in the
there.
end.
Neesham's tipped back on the
I
boundary.
mean, look, they are always a good athletes, good fielders, so they're supposed to be.
And
rugby players.
Guptal got 3 catches, you know, he was brilliant.
Yeah, he's very
he was
safe.
brilliant.
Very safe. All right, let's have a look then at the card for the New Zealand innings. It was a bit of a walk, a bit of a stroll towards victory. They only lost 2 wickets in the process. Are we going to see the card, I wonder? Maybe not. Okay.
Or similar to the other day.
Well,
in
I'll read
England
it
day.
to you. They lost 2 wickets, 111 for 2, not a problem. It's as easy as that. I mean, it was just, okay, you know the target, and you know you don't have to race, so that takes the pressure off. But nonetheless, it was still made to look very easy. I mean, Guptill, quick 20, Mitchell opening the innings again for the second time this time, 49, Williamson not out at 33, Conway hardly had a chance. So only 3 batsmen basically needed.
Yeah, credit goes
Oh, there
to
it is. Yeah. Well, there we are. Okay, well, I've done that.
बुमराह।
You know, Indian this tournament, you know, like they bowled 32.2 overs and
Yeah.
they conceded 263 runs.
2 wickets.
2 wickets.
For 2 wickets.
That shows.
Yeah.
It also shows the importance of runs on the board.
लेकिन अगर
Because the other team was under no
लेकिन
pressure.
अगर आप न्यूजीलैंड की टीम देखें ना तो उन्होंने दोनों डिपार्टमेंट को जो ना स्ट्रॉन्ग किया है। अगर आप देखें बैटिंग भी उनकी प्योर 5 बैट्समैनों के 2 ऑलराउंडर के साथ गए। जो नीशम भी है वो बैटिंग ऑलराउंडर है। लास्ट मैच में उनको प्रॉब्लम क्या हुई कि वो उनके पास एक बॉलर शॉट था, तो आज उन्होंने एक बैट्समैन को ड्रॉप करके मिलने को खिलाया जिस तरह उसने बॉल किया और फिर जो पैंट को जिस तरह आउट किया। तो आई थिंक क्रेडिट जाता है उनकी जो न्यूजीलैंड की टीम मैनेजमेंट है, उन्होंने जिस तरह होम वर्क किया लास्ट मैच के बाद, तो आई थिंक उनको भी क्रेडिट जाता है।
और ये आपको पता है कि शायद इनको पिछले मैच में टेक्निकल कमेटी की वजह से इजाजत नहीं
फर्गसन
मिली
अनफिट हुए ना,
थी।
फर्गसन
लॉकी
unfit
फर्गसन जब अनफिट हुए तो उनको डायरेक्टली मैच नहीं खिलाने दिया,
इट्स
तो
मीन कि
पाकिस्तान
आप
के
जो
लिए
ना
फायदा हुआ।
T20 क्रिकेट में जो ना आप स्पेशलिस्ट के बगैर नहीं जीत सकते, यू हैव टू गो विद द
वेरी
स्पेशलिस्ट।
गुड
बैट्समैन
बिल्कुल।
बैट्समैन भी चाहिए स्पेशलिस्ट।
One more thing कि मैं जो कहूँगा यहाँ पे कि जब आप 110 का टोटल है, who's your number 1 bowler? Jasprit Bumrah. He's bowling the second over, and we saw new ball swung, and we didn't see Shami bowling with the new ball either.
शार्दुल ठाकुर
If we look at these figures, I
6
mean,
बॉल।
Chakravarti didn't seem to threaten. Okay, he's just under 6 and over, no wickets. Bumrah, the most economical, picked up the only 2 wickets that went
15
down.
dots.
And
Jadeja.
15 dot balls, yeah. But then, you know, Jadeja, the powerhouse, going at 11, 11 and a half. Shami, 11 again. Thakur, you know, 1.5 overs. You know, Pandya's bowling for the first time in months, years. The worry for me would be if I was Kohli, is that there seems to be no power either to restrict or to take wickets.
Yeah.
Now,
nothing.
again, I understand the
There
circumstances.
was only
of the test.
one bowler, that is Bumrah. If you compare Indian bowling with Afghanistan even, Afghanistan got 3 world-class spinners, India got no one. Isn't it?
स्पिनर्स
Chakravarti
Is a new guy,
this
you
is
know.
the first time,
Yeah.
I think that's his debut
That's-
game.
And that's why a lot of
Yes,
people
the
talked
other
about
day. The other
Chahal.
day.
The other day.
Chahal.
So he's not anyone at the international level, isn't it?
No, but they've picked him. They've got a lot of spinners to choose from, and they've picked him because he was in form. Okay, I understand there is and we have to remember this. There is a step up from
A-
franchise cricket
league
to international
to
cricket.
international.
Yeah, for sure.
So Jadeja is not world-class spinner. Chakravarti debut, we don't know what he's gonna do at the international level. Thakur, medium pace.
इसमें इनको ड्रॉप किया
Shami,
है।
Ashwin sitting on the bench
It's the first time that I've seen an Indian team today in terms of lack self-belief in all departments.
Yeah.
True. It's a very strong and very good point. And as we know, any top-level sport, be it our favourite sport, cricket, the mind is so important. And if you lose any confidence in your ability to take the risks that win you games in this form of the game, the shorter game, or in the bowler's case, to be more aggressive with the ball, looking for wickets.
When you look at a punt, he's known as a daredevil, a flasher. We didn't see none of that today.
Well, 9 months ago,
We didn't see none of that.
give or take, he was sweeping Jimmy Anderson for 6 in a Test match.
Yes.
Okay, remember that.
Yes,
He was doing this to Jimmy Anderson, one of the world's finest seam bowlers, in a Test match. Thank you very much. He went everywhere. Here we are in the T20, and he's just nudging it for
We
one.
have the freedom and the license for you to just go wild or go crazy. We didn't see none of that
Feral.
today. None of that
There's
today.
nothing
And
feral
sometimes
about
it's
it.
happened because look, when Pakistan team arrived in UAE, they had no idea, they had no clue. Just a new team, 3 days, 2 days before arriving, they changed the team and made a new one, and no expectations.
I love you the way you said that. I changed the team and made a new one. you sound like a tailor.
It is like that. And Indian was like, everyone was saying, look, it's unfair. They've been playing there, the IPL. They must have known the pitches more, practiced more, used to it more. Look, where they ended up.
Or maybe
They've played too much.
they're mentally fatigued because they've been in England for a Test series.
Remember
then
they
come
left
back-
early.
Yeah, they left
They
early.
had an
because-
extra week off.
And they have the extra week this one.
It's regardless of how weary you are and tired you are.
I mean, look,
When-
it's
when
it's
you're
with
representing your
everyone.
country.
Everyone is traveling several months away from home, playing here and there.
Yeah.
So no excuse.
When you're
Yeah,
representing
when you-
your country, regardless how tired you are, you got to find that energy.
You can't get that
Because of the millions.
Right. So all true. Right. Let's just have a look at one of the innings that got New Zealand home in fine style. Darren Mitchell, who's been promoted to open the innings, and he's one that doesn't fear opening. I mean, he's a very utility player. He'll bat wherever you tell him. And in these 2 games they've played in this tournament, he's been thrust up to number 2 alongside Martin Guptill. And look at this. Look at this for confidence and just stroke play and placement and all the things you would hope for from a number 2 batsman, from an opening batsman.
Different intent. We saw intent today. And why I think you would have had that intent coming from the New Zealand batters, the fact that the scores that they were chasing. It was, it's a total that wasn't intimidating enough.
But this is how you would, in effect though, it's fascinating. This is how you would start if you were chasing more. If you were chasing, say, 160, this is how you'd want to start your innings.
राशिद भाई आप कुछ कहना चाह रहे
I mean, look, the batting is all okay.
डैरन मिचेल और बटलर ने कल और आज ये सिर्फ बैटिंग प्रैक्टिस की है, कोई सामने नहीं आया, उन्होंने फ्रंट लेग क्लियर की है और उसके बाद उन्होंने मारा है। ये सेकंड इनिंग में ही हो सकता है अगर छोटा टारगेट हो। और कैप्टनसी अगर विराट की देखते हैं, आप 110 डिफेंड करने जा रहे हो, 6 ओवर कौन कर रहा है? जडेजा, जिसको उसने एक ही ओवर में 14-15 रन जितने भी रन भी किए। तो अप्रोच ज़्यादा अजहर ने कहा कि चक्रवर्ती को पहला ओवर करा रहे हैं। आपकी कोशिश होनी चाहिए थी कि 2-3 ओवर में 2-3 विकेट्स लें और पॉसिबिलिटीज थी यहाँ पे आउट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन वो रन बचाने के लिए जा रहे हैं। अगर यहाँ पे भी आप रन बचाने के लिए जाएंगे तो ये तो देर से मैच खत्म हुआ और जल्दी खत्म होना चाहिए था।
यही गलती केन विलियमसन ने भी पाकिस्तान के अगेंस्ट की है। वैसे जब हम चेस करने पे जाते, पहला ओवर बोल्ट या सऊदी से नहीं करा।
नहीं, वो रिक्वायर्ड रन रेट को ऊपर लेके जा रहे थे। इसमें अगर आज के विकेट्स लगे ना, हमें लग रहा है कि ईशान किशन को यहाँ से मारा, ये प्लान मतलब ये सेटअप था ये, या केएल राहुल को भी ये भी सेटअप था। देखिए ना, दोनों जगह एक ही जगह पे गई है, तो अगर एक एंगल पे आप बॉल करोगे और आप फ्लिक करोगे तो जाएगी एयर में, उसमें चांस होता है आउट होने का। और सेम चीज केएल राहुल ने की, थोड़ी शॉर्ट ऑफ लेंथ मिली, उसने मारी, चांस होते हैं आउट होने की। बड़ी बाउंड्री है वो, ये जैसे बताया बेंगलोर का ग्राउंड नहीं है या बॉम्बे का ग्राउंड नहीं है, ये बड़े हैं, 80 मीटर 75 मीटर दूर हैं। तो यहाँ पे आपको 2 दफा, एक दफा मारे, दूसरी दफा जाके फिर मारना पड़ेगा, फिर बाहर जाएगी। तो ये देखना चाहिए था, ग्राउंड को असेस करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। बाकी इंडियन का क्या है कि यहाँ पे सिलेक्शन का देखते हैं, सिलेक्शन इतनी अच्छी नहीं थी, या तो आपकी रेपुटेशन पे टीम बनी है और कुछ ऊपर के प्लेयर जो खेलते ही हैं इंडिया के लिए वो हैं, लेकिन ये कि कुछ अच्छे प्लेयर थे जैसे शहरद अय्यर है वो टीम में नहीं है, पांड्या को है वो टीम में नहीं है, जो कि मिडिल ऑर्डर को रोटेट करते हैं, लेके चलते हैं। ये सारे अच्छे गुड परफॉर्मर है टीम के अंदर, टीम नहीं है ये गुड परफॉर्मर और रेपुटेशन, पास की रेपुटेशन पे टीम बनी है, जिसकी वजह से ये रिफ्लेक्शन आई है।
चलें जी, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त डिस्कशन चल रही है। पता चल रहा है कि यूएई के मैदान में वो रिजल्ट्स नहीं आ रहे जो इंडिया के ग्राउंड्स में आ रहे थे। इंडिया के लिए 2 मैचेस वो हार चुके हैं। हम आएंगे, दोबारा डिस्कशन को जारी करेंगे। आप देखते रहें, गेम ऑन है।